Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualize My Asexual. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button below, right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we're going along. If you're enjoying the content, a thumbs up really help these videos to get recognized in the search engine rankings, which means we can get more visibility on asexuality. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for the thumbs up. Hi. Lovely to see you. Really appreciate it. So just for those who are new to the channel, if you didn't know, I am the author of Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualize.com and the founder of Asexualize Academy, and Ray's got this book on Kindle, haven't you, Ray? So that's great. So yeah, in tonight's episode, it is dating advice and what should you do if you are a woman who has, yeah, Ray's got my book. What should you do if you're a woman, a female, and you've met this guy and you've got his number and, you know, do you text him first after you've got his number? So there's a lot of different advice going around by different dating coaches on different forums, different sites about whether you should text him first or not. And so there's two trains of thought with this that I've concluded. Hey Sam, nice to see you. So there's two trains of thought with this, right? I'm saying a female to a guy because I'm only interested in guys, right? Okay, so if you're a guy to guy, then that dynamic might be quite strange of who to work out which to text first. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, should a woman text a guy first? Because it's a very big question that's kind of all over the internet if you do your searching, and I didn't know what to do myself 100%, but then I kind of did know what to do. So I've got a lot of experience in the dating and relationships scene, especially where asexual dating is concerned. So I like to give my help and advice to you. So there's two trains of thought with this. One, the main thing is that if a guy really likes you, he will text you. You won't have to worry about him texting you once he's got your number. If he really likes you, he's really keen on you, he will text you. You won't have to wait around for him to message you. Do you know what I mean? He will naturally just message you if he's really keen or really interested in seeing you again. If he isn't, he won't. So you don't have to bother texting him at all. And so, yeah, that's a major piece of advice I give you. You don't have to text him, right? If you are already doing some of the work and texting him first, then how does that bode well for a potential relationship? It means you're already starting to do the running around after him, right? Which is not what you want to be doing. Like, it depends, obviously, if you're of a more feminine or masculine nature, but in general, I'm very generalizing here because obviously with asexuals, there's a lot of non-binary and trans asexuals. I believe, as far as I understand, the latest statistics is 10% of asexuals are trans, 10% are non-binary. So obviously gender roles are very different with asexuals. But if I'm talking about generalization, right, is the fact that, you know, if a guy is in his masculine, right, which masculine energy I've learned is all about, you know, because I used to hate the term masculine guys, you know, I used to really go away from it, run away from it, hate that term. But I've learned over this last few months that the word masculine, you know, stereotypically, I don't like that word, but masculine energy is not actually a bad thing. Someone who's macho is bad. Someone who's macho who thinks they're like a you know, if they're traditional gender guy, you know, they think they know it all. They're you know, they're very full of themselves and everything like that. If a guy has masculine energy in a good, healthy way, it means they're very doing. So say a female had a high-powered job and she was busy running meetings, organizing meetups in person with people for business arrangements. She's spending a day like pretty much doing work all day, you know, attending different meetings, closing different deals, all that type of thing. That's like masculine energy in a female, right? They're doing stuff in business, they're doing stuff, taking action, go-getters, boing, boing, boing. So masculine energy is all about doing stuff, about action taking, which females do need. So in life, a male and a female should have both. So a male should have some feminine traits, some feminine energy, not just complete male energy, and vice versa. So a female should have times when she needs to have masculine energy, like doing business deals, like things that have got to get done, even stuff around the house she might use her masculine energy for, like, you know, there's stuff I need to do, I got to get it done, do you know what I mean? Whereas feminine energy is more laid back, let things happen, be more soft and gentle, let people come more towards them, loving, caring, all that type of thing. So I've learned a lot in these past months. And I have to say, although I didn't think I wanted a masculine guy, because I hate that term, I don't like, because I in my mind I have this stereotype, I guess, of this macho guy that goes to the pub with his mates and doesn't really give a toss about his woman, and he's kind of like, do you know what I mean, all macho and everything like that. That's not the sort of guy I want. But a masculine guy is actually better in general for a female, you know, someone who's in their masculine, because it means that they will do a lot more of the work in contacting you, connecting with you, messaging you, video chatting with you, making sure you're safe, you know, making sure that you're okay and things like that. They'll really, really care about you, and they will do a lot more of the ongoing work. Do you know what I mean? You won't have to make such of an effort. Whereas guys that are really, really in their feminine, for example, a very feminine guy, this is what I've learned, I know it's a generalization, guys that are very, very in their feminine, I'm not talking about, some femininity is good, right? You need a guy to have some femininity, because if not, they won't be emotional, and you can't emotionally connect with them. They won't have sympathy or empathy, and you know what I mean? A totally masculine guy is no good anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, but a really feminine guy, they'll be kind of like more unsure of themselves, more insecure about themselves. They'll not make an effort so much in dating and relationships. They'll not even think about being proactive. They'll just like let life pass them by more. This is very generalization, obviously. And so, you know, because they're not doing, they're using their feminine, so they're always laying back, waiting for something to happen, waiting for a guy to message them, waiting for someone to message them, right? You know what I mean? And so nothing's happening. They're not doing anything. They're just laying back and everything comes to them. But that's not how life works. And if you've got a guy who's very, very feminine and a female who wants to be feminine, she can't be as feminine when she's got a guy that's very feminine, because she has to do a lot more of the work. She has to chase after him. Well, not chase, because chase is not good. Chase is when you get crazily and you like message the person all the time because you're, you know, like, you know, you just consistently with no break. Pursuing someone is when you're actively pursuing someone because you care about them, and you do message backwards and forwards, but it's more constructive. You know, it's not a desperate need. I'm just messaging you 10 times in a row because I'm insecure. It's like a proper conversation, backwards and forwards flowing. Do you know what I mean? And you take an interest in the other person if you pursue them. You ask them questions. You keep the conversation going, you know, over days, weeks, months. But, you know, it's very backwards and forwards. It's a conversation, not someone just blurting their whole mind out because they just, you know, don't even realize you're around and don't really care about what's going on in your life. They're just too focused on themselves, you see, which isn't good to be that way. So, you know, because I get attracted to guys with feminine traits because I have some masculine traits. But what I've realized is all the guys that I've been getting attracted to in the past with these feminine traits, they're not really, the majority of them aren't, you know, they're so scared to even come out as asexual, which I know is not just true for feminine asexual guys. There's a lot of females obviously that are scared as well, and I'm sure there's a lot, you know, but I'm sure there's other people that are, but you know, a lot of them are, you know, scared to come out as asexual. They haven't got what it takes to have a really sustainable, long-lasting effort to get a relationship to continue to work, because getting a relationship in the first place, a lot of the really feminine guys, they're not pursuing. They're not actually saying, hey, I really want a relationship. I'm gonna like go for this, and I'm gonna like go on different dating sites. I'm gonna explore different asexual dating groups, asexual dating sites. I'm gonna be prepared to travel to go and find the one that's right for a relationship for me. I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna do, which is the masculine energy. But if a guy's really in his feminine, he'll just be laid back thinking, oh well, I can't get anyone. I can't find anyone near my area. There's no one for me. Oh dear. And he'll be laid back thinking, oh, I want the guys, the person will be, he'll be thinking, I want the woman, the guy or whatever to come to me. Do you know what I mean? He won't be doing, because he's not in his, if he's not got much masculine energy, he won't think about doing stuff, action taking, pursuing, because it's not within his being. If he's being over feminine, he's being too laid back, too relaxed, too nonchalant, too underactive, if you understand what I mean. So that is really, really not the type of guy that I want. I don't want a guy where I'm messaging him, what I'm thinking about him, and he can care less whether he's speaking to me or not. Where it's like, oh, if I talk to Sandra today, oh right, okay, because they don't, that type of person's not valuing my worth and seeing my worth in a relationship. They might value my worth as a human being person, but in terms of relationship and dating, which is what this video is about, they're not really seeing my worth, because they don't probably want a relationship in the first place. A lot of them haven't got what it takes to actually have a relationship, because they haven't thought things through like that. They haven't got the capacity to put in the time, energy, and effort, and actually got the character traits needed to do that. They can change. Anyone can change. Of course you can. Anyone can change themselves. I try to change myself. It's important to change yourself, develop and grow, and not stay in the same state that you're in. So anyone can change. But, I didn't understand this. I didn't get that. Like, I've been trying to figure out for like ages why it's so good to have this feminine energy and this masculine energy. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. It's taken me a very, very, very long time to finally understand what the difference between like a macho chauvinistic guy is and a masculine guy. And so I wanted to share this with you, because I think it's very, very insightful, because for a long time I've hated the word masculine, but now I think, no, I do need a guy who's more masculine. I go, a guy who's more masculine, but with some feminine qualities in the terms of the emotional connection, the empathy and sympathy and stuff like that, and caringness. Because if I don't get a masculine man, I'm going to be running around all the time, texting, messaging them, and they can give a toss, to be quite honest with you. It's like, if I hear from her, and it's more like mate zone. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not what I want to happen. I need someone who's equally going to be after a relationship like me. So if you're watching this video now and you're looking for a serious relationship, you need to find someone who's also looking for a serious relationship, who wants to put the time, energy and effort into it. Some of these people, they don't mind not ever having a partner. That's fine. But if there's people watching this now and they really do want a partner, and they can see themselves like, oh gosh, I'm too masculine or I'm too feminine, they need to do something about it. Do you know what I mean? So you can't sit there forever in life saying, oh, well, I can't change. Anyone can change. I've changed my opinion of masculine. That's, like pretty much all my life I've hated that till like the last few months. And I'm like, well, yeah, this is my problem. I'm going for guys because I emotionally connect with them very well. But I'm going for guys that are great emotionally connection-wise. Some of them are great as friends, but for a relationship, they're no good. Because they can't be that stable, strong, secure guy who's always consistent and persistent with me. That's what I need. I need that like pillar of strength, which is like that masculine energy. It's a very strong pillar of strength. Of course, women can be like this as well. But it's but when a woman is in her feminine energy, she's leaning back more. She's more like water with the tide coming towards her. Do you see what I mean? And so it's very, very important that you understand masculine and feminine, which I didn't get. I didn't understand for years. I'd hated the whole type of thing. So I can understand if you're a bit frustrated and think, oh, I don't like hearing about this, but it's something I want to share with you because I think it's so, so important, and I think people do confuse the two, and like I said, even the dating coaches that are not like me, because I'm obviously an asexual dating coach, the dating coaches that are sexual dating coaches, even they say that it's good for a man to have some feminine qualities, you know, to being his feminine sometimes, because he needs to be for a woman, because a woman can't emotionally relate to him and they can't have that deep emotional connection unless a guy has some femininity about him. So it's not about having a guy who's completely masculine, a woman who's completely feminine. They need to be able to meet in the middle, both of them. So if they both have some masculine and feminine traits and they use those in the best type of circumstances, that's how they can come together and be one more for a better relationship, if you understand what that means, you know? Hopefully you get that. So in terms of should a woman message a guy first, right? In general, I would say no, don't do it, because you know, you really need a masculine guy, unless you are really, really masculine yourself and you really don't want a masculine guy whatsoever, and you want a completely feminine guy and you want to do all the messaging, you want to do all the texting, you want to do all the running around, you want to like put all the time, energy and effort into it, which I wouldn't recommend. But if you want to do that, that is your choice. But in general, I don't think most women really want to be going around doing that type of thing. You know, I don't think anyone does, to be quite honest. They need someone who's equally into them. But obviously, in terms of traditional gender roles, like male and female, like who should message first, it's always used to be guys messaging first, right? And because of what I said about the masculine and feminine, I would still recommend that the guy, you know, should message first, because how does a woman know you're really interested and keen? Having said that, right, I did say this is in two parts, right? If you're a woman and you're sat there and you're going kind of crazy thinking, well, what if I did message him first? What would happen? You know, maybe, I know you're going to freak out and think, if it's a guy you really like, you might be thinking, oh my God, maybe he's lost my number already. Which, you know, if he's lost your number already, you don't mean that much to him, to be quite honest. But just, you know, if you're freaking out thinking, oh, well, maybe he's lost my number, maybe I didn't give it him right, or maybe something's happened to him, blah, 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 and all the crazy things we think when we really like someone and they really don't care about us in that way, to put your own mind at ease, you can text the guy first, right? And that's what I would say to do. Do it without any expectation whatsoever. So if you're going to message a guy first, do it without any expectation that he's actually going to message back. And do this. So this is what I said to this Indian guy. So if you watch my last video, you'll know that I snogged an Indian guy. If you're in the USA, apparently you don't really know what the word snog means. So snog means passionately kissed an Indian guy. Like, it's been my dream to do that for 5 years. And it might seem really crazy because you're like, what does it matter if you kiss an Indian guy? Because I'm attracted aesthetically, intelligently, and pretty much every other way to Indian guys. They're my top attraction, right? It's just the way it is since 2014, and I believe my soulmate's Indian. So I always thought that, you know, sometimes I don't like using the word fantasy, but sometimes what you think in your head isn't, sometimes what you think in your head is not actually your reality, right? You can think, I really want to be in this situation, I really like it, I really want it, but when you're in it, you might not like it, right? So because I've never dated an Indian guy in person before, because I've never actually had a relationship with an Indian guy before, but because it's something I feel naturally inclined towards and that will be right for me, it was good for me to try out what it was like to actually kiss an Indian guy, to hold his hand, to touch his skin and stuff like that. It's a very important thing for me. In a way, it might have been a bucket list thing, you could say, something I want to do before I'm on this planet Earth, you know, but it's more than that to me. It's a big deal because I waited 5 years just to do that, right? So some people haven't got the stamina for a relationship. They can't wait to have the right person come into life. This guy wasn't the right person for me because he did not message me first. So I asked him for his number, which usually you shouldn't do as a woman if you're talking about masculine and feminine. The guy, if he really likes you, should ask you first. If he doesn't ask you and he's prepared for you to walk away and never see him again, he's not that interested. So I already knew that because he didn't ask for my number and I was about to get in the taxi, it was just across the other side of the road, that it's likely he didn't want to see me again. It's just he loved the kissing like I did in the moment, and it was all great, but he didn't want anything more, which some guys are like that, right? That's what quite a lot of people, I guess, who go to the clubs, they either go with their partner or they they go there for kissing, or some of them go for sex probably, but he didn't push for any sex or anything like that. So he just loved snogging me. He really did. So, I had to take it for what it is and not expect anything. So the fact that I asked him for his number was a bad red flag for in relationship terms, because I knew that he probably didn't want to see me again because he would have asked for it, right? So I could have cut it off there, not done anything with it, right? But because my dream has been and is still to be with an Indian guy in a relationship, I thought I do not want to let this opportunity pass me by for me. So when you do this, you have to come from a place of I'm doing this for me, just to clarify in my own mind what's going on, right? Because relationships, dating, being in certain situations like this is all a learning curve and experience. And sometimes you have to do things different, or maybe what you think is probably not going to work out or not right. But sometimes you feel like you've got to try something just once, right? And I thought, it's the first time it's the first time I've kissed an indie guy at all. And it felt really good. And I thought, right, go and ask him for his number, because then in your head that if he doesn't message you, he's got the opportunity to still contact you, right? If you go off and maybe he's like in awe of the moment or whatever rubbish excuse I made up in my head. Actually, I just thought he doesn't really want to. I don't think he wants any more, but I don't want to miss this opportunity with him because I've waited for 5 years. So I am going to take the bull by the horn, give him my number, saying you can have my number. I did say, well, maybe we can meet as friends or something. And then he actually got his phone and he phoned me on his phone, and so I had his number. He didn't have to do that, so I thought that gave me a bit of hope that maybe he does like me more enough to see me again, because he specifically phoned my number so that I gave him, so that my phone would come up with his number and I could put that in my phone. Now, if a guy's not interested at all in you, he doesn't usually do that. I've had other situations in the past where a guy doesn't do that. So that made me think, well, give me a little bit of hope. And I thought, oh, okay, then maybe he really does like you. But I noticed a red flag on his phone that there was a picture of a man and a woman, or girl and boy, on his phone screensaver, but he swiped over it so quickly. So I don't know if I asked him, have you got a girlfriend? Because I thought, oh, maybe it's him and a girl, right? And he said, oh, no, I don't have a girlfriend. So, I don't know what the picture was. I couldn't see it. Sometimes Indian guys put like their favorite idols on from films and movies and stuff like that, like Bollywood films. Sometimes they have their best female friend or that, or sometimes they'll have the love of their life that left them like 5 years ago and they can't get over it. And I often find with Indian guys, from my knowledge and experience, when they fall in love with the one person, the first girl they ever fall in love with in their life is usually the one that always holds their heart throughout the rest of their life. This is my experience. The amount of Indian guys I've talked to, and they're still hankering after a girl that they may have been, like infatuated with at 19 years of age or something. They still can't get over it, and they're in their 30s or more. And it's like, whatever you're thinking and hankering after someone else in your life, you're never going to have true love in the life that you are living now. Why live in the past? They're called your ex for a reason. Get over it. Do you know what I mean? I'm being blunt, to be quite honest. I'd say this to anyone. You shouldn't be hankering after people in the past. The past is gone. They're your ex for a reason. They're not meant to be with you. If they were meant to be with you, they'd be with you, right? Okay, so just forget it. It's just stop it, because new love, if you really want to have pure, beautiful love, you cannot have it with another person if you're still thinking about someone else. It just doesn't work. It's not fair to the person you want to be with now, and it's even not fair to yourself, to have your head in it. So you have to like end it in your head thinking they weren't the right person, because if they were, then it would be, they would be there with you now. Right, so you have to get over that. But in my experience, a lot of them don't. So, I'd love an Indian guy for me to be his first love, because I think after I would be his first love, he probably would love me for eternity with or without sex. A lot of the, especially if he's asexual, obviously, and didn't need sex. So yeah, that'd be great. But anyway, so to cut a long story short, like I said, if you're going crazy, if you want to find out the truth about whether he likes you or not, you can text him first, right? Obviously, if he's really interested, he should do it with you. So I want to make that clear that he's likely not really interested in you, right? Okay, so I'm going to tell you now what to text, okay? So this isn't just a video about should a woman text a guy. This is what I text the guy, right? And I will explain. So obviously you have to tailor your text to the situation in hand. So you could have met this guy in the street, in the supermarket, in the library, having coffee with a friend. You could have met this guy anywhere. So I met this guy in a nightclub, right? So you've got to take the situation as it is, right? But the fact is, you met this person, they gave you, or you gave them your phone number, you've got their phone number, right? Which, like I said, I gave him my number. He didn't even have to give me his number, which is why I thought he might like to see me afterwards. So anyway, so this is the message I wrote. And the reason I did this was for me, because I wanted certainty and clarity that he did not want any form of actual relationship with me or seeing me ever again, you know, unless I happen to see him in the club again, right? So this is the type of thing you need to write, because it has everything in this message that you need to know there and then. And if they don't message back, you've got your answer, and then you can close that door. So one of the worst things when you're dating is if someone ghosts you or someone doesn't give you closure, right? It's the worst thing, because our brains as human beings naturally want closure. We want to be able to end the scenario, like I just said with the Indian guys, where they got women they're hankering afterwards, after for like 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, you know, later, because they don't have closure. They haven't closed the door themselves, or that person didn't close it for them. Obviously, you've got to try and close it yourself. If another person doesn't close it, you've got to close it and move on yourself, right? And take control and the bull by the horns. So this message here is designed to give you complete closure in one go, right? So this is genius, I think. I'm like, oh, this is a really good text, right? And then I can delete his number if I want to. Just delete him out of my life, delete his number, gone. But you could use this as a template, right? So this is what I put. Let me just have some water quickly. Oh, and thanks for the thumbs up. It's really good for this channel to have thumbs up. And if you haven't thumbs up yet, please thumbs up now. So this is what I said. This is in 3 parts. So 3 paragraphs you want to be writing. First of all, you set the scene of the fact that you are happy to see them, right? So they need some feedback as to how the actual experience of you meeting them was, right? Because if they haven't got any positive feedback from you, why should they message you back, right? You need to give them an incentive, a reason to want to message you back if they're going to, right? You shouldn't have to if they're really keen on you. But if you want to message them first, right, and you want to start off on a good foot, right, then you need to actually be setting the scene and being really nice, kind of caring, right? So I put, hey, it was nice to meet you and spend time with you last night. I loved your kissing and the way you softly played with my hair. Notice, because I'm asexual, which he didn't know I'm asexual, but he could tell that there was something different about me, because I was telling him there's certain places he couldn't touch, whereas sexual women probably wouldn't have cared. So he, at this point, before I sent this text, he doesn't know I'm asexual, don't like sex, right? So if you notice, I didn't say any of the sexual stuff or any of the things he attempted to do sexually, I should say, because, you know, I wasn't letting him do a lot of stuff. You know, any sort of him trying to touch me, which obviously I do try and push your boundaries, I didn't include any of that. I said really nice thing like the kissing and the way softly played with my hair, right? Because I wanted him to know that going forward, I had a nice experience, and these are the 2 things that I really stood out for me that I liked about the experience with him, right? So you do that first of all, you set the scene. So say it was in a supermarket, right? And you met the guy in a supermarket. I've got people's numbers in supermarkets before. Yeah, I'm outgoing, outspoken, and also, you know, if you're in the dating game, you're in the dating game, right? Date, go and date. Do you know what I mean? Take chances, take risks. You know what I mean? Calculated, safe risks. I'm on about. So, say you met them in a supermarket, right? You could say, "Oh, it's really nice to meet you at such and such a supermarket. You know, it was nice to see you, basically." And yeah, anyway, so that's the first paragraph. The second paragraph is really, really important, because this is when you say, you don't have to say you're asexual if you don't want to, or you can choose to do, but this is when you spell it out to them that you're not interested in sex. Because if they're all just after sex, this second paragraph will sort that out for you. They won't message back if they're just looking for sex. So do not miss this second paragraph, okay? This second paragraph, right? Doesn't say I'm asexual, but it says I'm not into sex. This is important. I'm different than other girls and not into having sex at all. But if you ever want to get to know my mind, soul, and personality more, just let me know. And as outside of that environment we met in, I am looking to make a deep connection with the right guy. Right, so what does this paragraph say to him? Okay, so we're going to go over it again bit by bit. I am different than other girls and not into having sex at all, right? So I have told him categorically, basically, if he does decide to message you back, he's not going to get sex from me, right? So I've made that perfectly clear, because this message is to know whether he's at all interested in me other than sex, right? And whether he wants to still be in touch with me for whatever reason, right? So the beginning is that you're different to other girls. You don't have to say you're asexual, or a lot of the time I do, but sometimes guys take better to the fact you're not into sex than using the word asexual. They don't get it. But if you just say I'm different to other girls, I'm not into sex, they kind of like, oh, okay, that's a bit weird, but do you know what I mean? It speaks to their language more. It's very plain, simple language, because most people don't know what asexuality is. They think you're a highly sexual person to start off with, and they get really blooming confused. Like the heterosexual guy, the older guy that lives near me, who keeps turning up on his bicycle near me, he didn't get what asexual was. I told him, I mean, he could Google it. Do you know what I mean? The guy who's really interested will Google, but he's like, oh, are you into women then? I'm like, no, I'm not into women. I'm into guys, but I don't want to have sex with them. You know, I get romantically and aesthetically attracted. Oh, are you celibate? I'm like, no. Do you know what I mean? And then and he even started saying he's got a 21-year-old daughter and you can have kids if you want. I'm like, I don't want kids. You know what I mean? He didn't get it. He didn't get asexuality. So it's better sometimes to just be very clear cut and said, I'm not into having sex at all, you know, because I'm different to other girls. So you've told him categorically that you're not like other girls, that he knows you're different, right? The right guy will be attracted to your difference. The wrong guy will repel him. So what you want to do when you're dating, you want to repel all the people that aren't right for you and attract the one that is right for you. Obviously, polyamorous, you might want more than one, but you know, if we work on monogamy for now, you know, because I'm monogamous personally, you know, so you want to be repelling the people that are not right for you, and you want to be attracting the people, or well, you only really need one person that is right for you, okay? So don't think when you're repelling people it's a bad thing. Some people worry so much about what people think. You don't want to be having, you know, the whole world interest in you. What's the point? You don't want to date or be in a relationship with the whole world, right? You need the one person to be in a relationship with, right? So I've told him I'm different to other girls. The right guy will love that about me. I've told him I'm not into having sex. So therefore he knows if he ever does contact me again, or most importantly, in my specific scenario of the fact I met him in a nightclub, or if you're, you know, if this guy lives local to you, he knows that I'm not going to be having sex anytime I see him. So if I meet him in the nightclub again, which may happen, he'll know that if he ever does meet me again there, I am not going to have sex with him. It's never going to lead to that. So if he's just coming up to dance with me to eventually get sex, it's not going to work with me. And so it's like a warning that if I ever, a polite, nice, kind message about myself, which is like a warning to him that I'm not like other girls, I'm not into sex. So basically, if you decide to see me ever again or speak to me, you're not going to get sex out of me, right? And then the second part, like the second sentence, is about, but if you ever want to get to know my mind, soul, and personality more, just let me know. That is basically saying to him, if you don't just like me because I'm hot and physically attractive to you, and you actually want to get to know the real me and possibly develop something deeper, then let me know, right? Which is what you want. You want a serious committed relationship, right? If you want a serious committed relationship, if you want to carry on message. Obviously, you know, if you want a bit of fun and you don't want anything serious, you know, go for gold if that's what you want. But I mean, we're talking about relationships and dating, right? We want really the right person, and getting, you know, snogging someone in nightclubs never gonna really lead necessarily to a relationship, right? A lot of it's, you know, like hormones flying around, you know, there's quite a low chance of you actually having the person who you get very physical with, even if it's just kissing early on, that ended up being a relationship long term. I have to tell you that, and I knew that because I've known from experience, but I wanted to have the experience of kissing and ending. Sometimes in life We have to decide what we want as experiences in that moment. We have to learn things and have learning curves. So sometimes we might test something out, like I want to test out what was it like to kiss an Indian guy, because I've never done it before. I liked it in theory, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, but what was it like really? And I really enjoyed it. He did have facial hair as well, which shocked me. He had mustache and a little beard. So it means that now in the dating scene, although I prefer a clean shaved guy, and I would always prefer that, and that's, I still want that, there is room for the maneuver a bit there, right? So that expands my dating circle a little bit more as to what I could go for. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't think that any type of, like every experience you have is a waste of time if a relationship doesn't develop from it, because you can learn from it, develop and grow. And it's good for me to learn stuff, and I can teach you this stuff as well, because that's what I do. Like, I'm a dating coach for asexuals, not sexuals, which is very unique. I think I'm the only one in the world that actually does that, right? So, the last part of this second paragraph is, as outside of the environment we met in, I'm looking to make a deep connection with the right guy. So this is really good words, because it's basically saying I'm looking to make a deep connection, right? So I'm not looking for just a one night stand. I'm not looking for an affair. I'm not with anyone, right? But, whatever your circumstances, I'm not looking for something meaningless. I'm looking for a deep connection. It's with the right guy. So if he's the right guy, he'll message me back. If he doesn't message me back, then clearly he isn't the right guy. I mean, clearly he's not the right guy anyway, but by default, if he doesn't message you back, he's not the right guy. Do you see what I'm saying? And if he's not into making a deep connection, if all he wants is to snog or do whatever other stuff with other women, then he's not going to message you back to this, which is what I want to know. You want to know categorically, is this person at all interested in you outside their environment? Do they want to continue on seeing you as a person and get to know you? This is what you want. So you want to repel him in the areas that you don't want to have a relationship with a guy. So I don't want a guy that's wanting sex and that's sex crazy. So I've already, if he's interested in having sex with me, I've already told him he's not getting it. So that makes him repelled and will make sure he doesn't message me again. So this is making it more clear cut, right? And then obviously I'm letting him know what I want, what my intention is, because it's important. Men aren't mind readers, neither are women. Do you know what I mean? No one's a mind reader. You have to spell it out to people. It's not fair. If you want clear communication and relationships going forward, you need to spell things out to people. You need to say, I felt this when I met you. I felt like really happy to see you. We had stuff in common, or, whatever it was. You need to let the person know the good thing you like about them, but, give them a reason to want to still be in touch with you, because if you're not saying anything good about them, the experience wasn't good, why should they bother? And then you're saying what you want the connection to be, your intention going forward, right? The problem is, a lot of today's dating, people don't know what the heck other people want. They're like messaging, either they don't hit message again because they're not having any masculine energy whatsoever, or they're not actually really committed to getting a relationship. It's not really on their life plan of must-dos, or they haven't got the capacity to have a relationship at this point in time, right? So you want to repel those people that aren't interested or not got that capacity at the moment. You might find a great person, but if they're not in that mindset of having a relationship with you and you want one with them, forget it, right? They can get back to you if they change, if they develop, grow themselves, change their mind, change, themselves, develop and decide, like 2 years' time, I want a relationship, and you're still single and you still want to go for it with them, then that's fine. You don't put your life on hold for any guy or any girl, any gender, any person whatsoever, till when they might decide they're ready. If they really want you, they'll be with you. And if the time is not right for them, it's not right for you, and you go and look for other people, right? So the third paragraph I used before, because I'm going to delete this guy contacts, which is really important afterwards. But what I might do is probably I'll copy, I'll type this all up in the comments for you, so that you can use that as a kind of script template going forward. So you have that down. Do you know what I mean? So if you ever have this situation again where you decide to text first, you can use this as a template. Yeah. So, right. So this is the third paragraph. If not, so if you're, if you're not the type of person I'm looking for, basically, and you were just enjoying the moment like I did, then that's cool. And I wish you an abundance of health, happiness, and love forever. So, why do I write that? Why did I write that third paragraph? Why did I need to, right? Because I'm saying, if he is not my guy, if he is not these things, or doesn't want these things in life, don't contact me. So I am cutting it for definite with him. I am given the option to decide to message me if he wants to take what I say to another level. If he wants to, if he's my right guy, if he wants to get back in touch with me, you know, then he will. But, you know, if not, and you were just enjoying the moment, you know, like I did, then that's cool. So there's no hard feelings. You know, sometimes you have to not be angry with the person, not have a go at the person. I went into that situation with my eyes wide open. I already thought if the situation presents itself where a guy I'm really aesthetically attracted to, feel okay and safe being close to, comes up for kissing, because I'm really love kissing and I'm an asexual person who's been looking for their soulmate for 5 years, and I've decided, right, I'll do something different, I'll try something different. Instead of like thinking about relationship all the time, I won't do that. I'll just think I can kiss, give myself permission to kiss outside a relationship, which is very weird for me, but I'm trying something different. Because if I just have the mindset of I've got to do it in a relationship all the time, and I might not be in a relationship for another 5, 10, 15 years if ever, it means I'm gonna miss the opportunity of kissing, which I do thoroughly enjoy in and of itself. Do you know what I mean? Why should I deny myself that pleasure just because I'm single, right? Why should I, if I really enjoy it and I feel safe and comfortable? That, you know, and it's in a kind of controlled environment because there's people around, security guards and everything like that. Why not, right? You know, I'm an adult, I can make my own decisions, right? It's my life, right? So I'm not saying, you know, that's great long term, because if I'm looking for a long term relationship, like I said, people that get very physical very soon, they don't usually end up in what I've learned. They don't usually end up having relationships, you know, that stand the test of time, because there's too much hormonal stuff going on. Even with asexuals, even if you don't want sex, you can still have like romantic hormones flying around, or just like maybe platonic, like pheromones or whatever going off. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You can still have this chemical reaction because we are made up of chemicals after all. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and you can like maybe be in the fantasy of it all rather than the reality. So, you know, by this last paragraph, you know, I can't blame him for him like not speaking to me again, because I went in that situation with my eyes wide open, right? This is healthy to do way of dealing with it. I don't blame him because I went in with it. I agreed to it. It's not his fault, right? I agreed to it in that moment. I liked it. I enjoyed it, right? So it's not his fault. So I can't blame him. You don't really want to be going around with the blame mentality and mindset, right? Because that's not going to get you anywhere in life. It's just going to hold resentment within your body, within your being, and that zaps your energy and your life force. And, you know, it just makes you have bad energy within yourself and cause you emotional pain and upset. It's no good, right? This is why I've specifically structured this text message to have a final clarification of whether he's interested in me at all after just dancing with me, right? And the fact he's not responded has given me my entire answer. And then I was keeping this on there here just to tell you about it. Then I can delete him from my contacts. And it's very important you delete this person, because then you can't get back in touch with them. There's no temptation there or anything like that, right? It's their loss. They're that, or maybe not their loss because it's not, you're not what they're looking for, right? But you know, that's it. You got to let them go, right? And so, so I said that I enjoyed the moment. So you know, and I'm saying then that's cool. So I'm basically saying no hard feelings, because don't forget I could bump into this guy again in the nightclub or somewhere else. He actually lives in a road that I usually walk down to get to my home. So I can even see him like in that road. Do you know what I mean? It's possible. And he works, I think, my end of the city. So there's a lot of like, you know, like coincidences there. But I found out he vapes, so I don't really want a vapor anyway. So he's no good for me anyway. But you know how you like my romantic side takes over a bit. But this has clarified things for me, right? And then I said, I wish you an abundance of health, happiness, light, and love. Because when you're doing that, you're spreading positivity. You're spreading love and joy to the person. You're like, no hard feelings. You're being a really kind, caring person. So even if this person doesn't care about you anymore, or doesn't, care enough to bother about you after this like situation, then you've done your best to be kind, caring, and put positive energy their way. And in your body, it's more healthier for you in your body and mind and emotions, because you'll feel better for doing that. You'll be the bigger person in a way. You'll be the more smarter person, the more caring person, the more kind person, because you've not ignored them. You've said that you wish them happiness, health, love, and light forever. And that is a good way to move on with your life, and you have your answer. And so that is when I would say, if you want to text message a guy and you're a girl, do it. But make sure you don't have any way, shape, or form of them getting out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because by writing all this stuff, I know if he doesn't reply, there is no chance of anything else, because I've made it categorically by what I've said clear about what I want in a relationship. And if he's the right guy, basically to reply to this message. If he's not, don't bother. That's what the whole message is about. And so he's basically said, by not answering, he said, I'm not the right guy for you. I'm not interested in that way. Okay? So it's good. This is all good. It's very good clarification, right? It's very, very good clarification. And this is what you need. You need this clarification. Otherwise you can drive yourself absolutely crazy. Now, had I not given him my phone number at all, I would have been driven crazy in a way, thinking, oh, right, I've waited for an Indian guy for 5 years. Maybe he did like me. Maybe he was just forgot to ask my number or something, because I was rushing. Well, I wasn't completely rushing for the taxi, but it was there. Do you know what I mean? Waiting for me. So maybe, he just was all shy. You can make up whatever excuse. Do you know what I mean? They're a real guy. If they're a really kind of masculine guy, they will just automatically, like get in contact with you. But however, if you want complete peace of mind, which I wanted for me, I thought, I've come 5 years for this, so I'm not going to waste this opportunity. I'm going to give them the opportunity to contact me again if they want to. They clearly don't. And I'm glad I wrote this message first, because I was trying to think, well, 101 excuses as to why he might not have been in contact, when I really knew the truth anyway, which is he doesn't want to carry on seeing me outside that environment, which is fine. It's fine. But, I needed just that extra clarification. So this is how it works. So what I'm going to do is, after this video is finished, I will type this out for you in the comments below. So if you ever come into this situation again, then you can use this as a template for what to write in a text message if you want to message the person first after you've got their phone number. So you basically set the scene of how you met them and what you liked about them. Could have been their smile, their hair, whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? Then you say that basically you're not interested in sex, but what you were looking for in terms of a relationship, and be very clear about that with your intention, and say that, I'm looking for this to be, I said, a deep connection with the right guy, right? So if they're not your guy, or any gender, if you're a different gender watching this, then you'll find out very quickly. And always end it on a positive note, that if you don't reply, I wish you well in your journey of life. Do you know what I mean? That's a very, very, very good, succinct way of ending it, of closing that book, so you can move on to finding the relationship of your dreams. Because whatever we're hankering after the wrong person, the right one will not show up for us. Okay? The right one's not going to show up. You need to be repelling the people who are not right for you and attracting the ones that are. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even in terms of friendship, there will be people in your life that just don't click with you. They're different to you. They're so different to you. Yes, you can have people that are different to you, but they might be completely different to you. For example, I had this guy off a dating site, asexual dating site, and I post a lot of positive stuff, or specifically back then I did post positive quotes on my personal profile, which I don't tend to, do that so much now. It's mostly on my pages. I mostly do, I don't know, other posts, but not really many quotes on my personal profile. And this guy literally clicked through my profile, because I messaged him saying I saw him on the dating site. he immediately messaged back and said, I'm not interested. You post positive stuff on your Facebook profile. I don't like someone who does that. And it's like, okay. And that was it. I mean, did it hurt? Maybe a little bit at the time. I'm like, oh, that's not very nice. But, you know, if a guy doesn't, but, you know, I'm glad that he told me the truth, you know, so it didn't hurt from the point of view to tell me the truth. But, you know, I don't want someone in my life that's not going to be having a positive mindset. If they don't like positivity and they'd rather be in the negative, then good luck to them. I'm definitely not the right person for them. They're not the right person for me. So they did me a favor. At least they told me very quick and succinct. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, make sure that you, after I've finished this video, I will type it up below so you'll have a copy of what I said. And then I'm literally going to delete this guy's number so he's not in my contacts, so I can't be tempted to ever get in touch with him again. And then you might be saying, but what if he messages? Well, if he messages me like 3 months later or whatever, then I'll be like, who are you? And that will speak volumes, won't it? It'll be like, well, you're so insignificant now because you haven't bothered to message me for 3 months or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know who the heck you are because you're not important to me because I wasn't important to you and you just moved on and I've moved on too. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, don't be afraid to just delete them. And, you know, you can block them if you want. I mean, he's not a horrible person, so I don't need to block him. But I could block him completely and then he can't ever get hold of me ever again. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to delete him because I don't think he's going to get back in touch with me anyway. But I'm going to delete him and yeah, it'll be good. So anyway, if you've got any questions, queries, or anything about this video, if you think about something after this video is finished, please leave it down in the comments below. I'll endeavour to answer it as much as possible. If it's anything to do with this text, anything to do with dating, you know, if it requires another video, I'll make another video for you. So please, please, please put your comments, questions, queries down below if you've got them. In the meantime, please do hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it already. It's really important because it gets, you know, YouTube to take notice of asexual videos, gets them higher up in the search engine rankings so we can have some decent, you know, stuff on our YouTube screens, as it were. And you know, we can spread the word of asexuality far more. I want to thank the people who've been watching me all the way through. Thank you, Ro and Tundra, and thank you, Sam. It's my best friend. And thank you everyone else that's been watching. I know there's been other people tuning in all the time as well. I love you guys. Thank you, and girls, and whoever you are, whatever gender you are, I love you all for coming on this channel. Thank you for supporting me always. If you haven't already subscribed, you're new here, please subscribe using the big subscribe button down below this video, and please hit that little bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if, like I said, if you're enjoying it, and share this with a friend. If you've got anyone who's asexual, wants some dating advice, you really think they could benefit from this video, please, please, please do share it with a friend. Pass the asexual love on. It's so important. I am on Facebook. If you've not already liked my asexualized Facebook page, please go on Facebook, like the page, Asexualized, and also Asexualized Dating. Also got Asexualized Academy. The links are below. Check out my book if you haven't already read it, because it's good if you are doing asexual dating, because it talks about love, life, and sex, and has 47 asexuals opinions there. So one's mine and my personal story, and you got 46 others. So yeah, it's really, really good if you're relationships and dating, because obviously love, life, and sex pretty much covers most stuff to do with relationships and dating. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. I'll see you on the next live stream or video. And if you haven't already, like I said, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being part of my community here. Till next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care. Bye. Bye, Ray. Bye, Sam. Bye, everyone. Thank you.